In this video, we'll discuss proper lighting for green screen.
If it's like a TV, you make it look like they're watching TV or whatever. You know, so it's like she turns on the iPad and then boom, that's way too much light. But okay, go ahead. Oh, she switched the iPad on, you know. So we're using color to, you know, get that sense of try to tell the story, you know. But it's like that shot in the restaurant there, you know, you really, you can really do a lot. You can really do a lot to make something really interesting.
So another topic I want to talk about is properly shooting green screen to make believable composite shots. And color is a big part of that, along with some other factors.
It's incredibly easy to do green screen. Anybody can do it with no background, no ping. All you do is you go in a Zoom call and you push the button and magically the background disappears and you're done. Green screen. It's nothing. There are some issues with that. One is if you look in the corner of somebody's arm and it's flashing and cutting in and out, that's not so great. You know, so if you want to take it up a notch, you know, you actually put a green screen behind them instead of just letting it decide what to take out. And if you want to take that up a notch more, you evenly light the green screen to the correct level and even across a waveform monitor and the right color, you know, and you get all that honed in properly. And now the computer's got something to work with that's even, you know, and can create a good key, can cut the foreground out from the background. And that, you know, you can say is a good green screen. And from a standpoint of superimposing one image over another, that is a good green screen. It can be a perfect green screen. But people can tend to forget about things like lighting and these other things, you know. And I worked with a guy that did Matt's background shots for some Spider-Man movies. They were up on tops of skyscrapers in New York City, you know, and they're not just going out to Shutterstock and finding a pretty picture to throw in the background. They were shooting the background. You know, it was better not to have the actor 100 stories in the air. It gave them a lot more options when they did it that way, but they were creating that background and they were putting just as much care into that as they were the foreground. Because matching the two is how you make it work. So if you're gonna be a news station and you're gonna put the weather map up behind somebody, as long as you can do that technical part and have a nice cleanly lit green and a good piece of equipment, you're done. If you're going to put a color background or a logo, you're done, that's fine. But if you're trying to sell the idea that somebody is actually in a place, then what you're using to shoot the person and what you're using to shoot the place should match, or it's not going to look right. So, you know, if I'm supposed to be standing here in front of the U.S. Capitol and you shoot me like this, and you get a background shot, you know, that was from up high, looking at, it's going to look ridiculous. It's going to look like I'm up in the air or something. Or even if it's just a little off, it's not going to feel right. It's going to feel like something's weird, you know. The focal length, you know, if you know you're shot. Now, some of this you can do in post, but you know, how much if you had a really close shot of somebody's face, and the back of their face was starting to fall off in focus, and you thought that was really pretty, and then the background was razor sharp, it would look weird. You might be able to fix that in post, but depth of field, contrast ratio, you know, and this is like what we were shooting in your place, but you know, if you got a background with, this is something that's hard to kind of do without seeing it, but when you shoot somebody against a green screen and you're going to put them outside like on a sunny day, the way you need to light them to make it believable, you would just never think to light somebody like that in a building, because you're blasting a light, you know, like I like to put the sun behind people outside. It's pretty and it just works really nicely. But that light is a bazillion times brighter than you would get an exposure. So now you need to take this gigantic light that's just plastering the person and, like, you know, melting their clothes. I'm like, why would you ever put a light like that in a studio? Because it looks real when you put it against an outside, you know? And so like the ratio, the brightness ratio is greater than you would think, than seems normal, you know? But you're trying to match it to what you're putting behind it. The direction of the light, if you look at a background shot and all the shadows are going one way, you probably should put your key light on that side if you want them to look like they're in that light. Anyway, color is the same thing. You'll see, and I've done this myself. Well, not this bad, but you'll see like a news person out at night. The sun's going down, and they're out there, and all they had was the tungsten light. And they turned it on, and they're all like yellow lit, and the background's blue lit, and it looks like they're green screen, right? But the reason it looks like they're green screen is because they're the wrong color for the background, So matching the color to that. So there's a lot of finesse with green screen, and that's another place where another use of color. Click on the next video to continue. New videos drop every couple of days. If you like what you see, like and follow us on our social media channels. And everything is downloadable for free on our website, ruchiproductions.com.